So we're now beginning our workshop, and I will now hand over to Josh Matheson.
Thank you, Liv. Thank you, Ali. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk to you guys today about live streaming. But for those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Josh. I play in a duo called the Funk Thieves up and down the North Coast. I have original music under Little King, and I'm a performing musician and have been doing that for about the last 15 years, sort of between Brisbane and Canberra, and did a little sneaky tour over in New Zealand as well, which was very exciting. And as a performing artist, I've found live streaming to become a really important tool. I don't use it so much at the moment. I tend to put a lot of videos up, but we're going to talk a little bit today about, what are the benefits and sort of how to get started with live streaming. So what is live streaming? Well, it's literally playing live and streaming to the internet. It's pretty self-explanatory. And essentially you're just posting to a social media platform. So if you don't know anything, that's the very basic stuff around live streaming. I think its purpose more than anything else is to provide a way of connecting to friends and fans who you can maybe not connect with physically. Maybe they're in lockdown. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen much in the future, but maybe they're just geographically in a different place to you. And so you can actually start connecting with audiences that aren't actually in your local area, which is a great tool. As well as that, live streaming is now a content driver. And so if you're an artist looking to build your online presence, live streaming is a really great way to get people's attention, and to keep people's attention. I guess we want to do live streaming really well. The benefit of doing that as well is that live streaming does provide notifications that go to the top of the social media pages. So it's something that can get people's attention straight away. It's almost like a notification when you log into Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. Someone's going live and it kind of grabs your attention. So we want to do it really well. So how does it work? Well, if you have a smartphone with a camera, you're pretty much halfway there already, which is a really great tool. Most people have smartphones now, and so it's really easy to use. You can go live straight away without using any equipment. But if you've done that before or you've seen people do it, there's something nice about it. You can get a bit of a feel, but often there's like crowd noise, road noise, all these other encumbrances that can make the audio quality not that great to listen to and to come back to. So really what you want to start with is some basics just to get your audio quality good. So there's some super obvious stuff that I'm going to cover, but I'm going to cover it anyway. Obviously, we already talked about it. You need a smartphone with a camera, and you need to have social media accounts. And most people have a Facebook or an Instagram or a YouTube account, or all of them. There's others too. There's like Twitch. There's a few other live streaming, but certainly Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram are the most prominent social media platforms where you can go live stream. Yeah, and you can live stream with no audio equipment. The other thing that you need is a really good internet connection. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to learn about is, and obviously Liv touched on this earlier, that internet can be a little bit dicey. So you need to have a good internet connection to make sure your live stream's high quality. All right. So the first thing that I like to do is make sure I have all the equipment. And there are 5 things, I think I've boiled it down to 5 things that you can basically have to do a good live stream. And the first thing is an interface. And what that is basically something that interfaces between you and your instrument and the technology. So in this case, or what we're going to talk today about, is your mobile phone. Just got a notification. My mobile phone, and this is a live streaming audio interface. Okay, this one is the Roland Go Mixer. Billie-Jo uses one that's similar to this, but a little bit more fancy. She's going to talk about that in a little while. But essentially what you can do with this is you plug in your instruments. It's super cute. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's probably too bright.
No,
but like, it's so obvious. They've got little guitar signs and, keyboard and microphone. So they make it really easy for you if you get confused with any kind of music gear. Make it very easy for you. You've got inputs, so instrument inputs, vocal input, which is this side, and a master fader. And what this does is it connects with your phone like this. And I don't know if you guys can see, but I've got this light here, which I use for live streaming as well. I'm sure Billie-Jo will talk to you about lighting as well. But yeah, basically I can attach my phone to this light pole, which you can't see at the moment. It's recording here. And anytime I go live on my phone, all my gear's going in here. Now, that is an interface. What you need as well is your instrument. You need cables. You need a camera, which is your phone, and you need headphones for monitoring. Okay. So for live streaming, especially if you're using your phone, there are these type entry-level audio interfaces. I'm actually using today my Apollo, Universal Audio Apollo, which is a little bit more expensive and probably more your home recording setup, but you can still use them as well. But if you're starting out, something like this is perfect. I think actually this one is obsolete. I think Billie-Jo, I went looking for the price to yours today and I couldn't find these. So I've sent Liv these links, but if you want more information about this too, Liv's going to keep the links and post them in the chat a little bit later, I believe, Liv. Cool. All right. So we established so far that to have a live stream, you at the very least need a phone and a working camera, and to do it well, an audio interface that allows you to record your audio and monitor while the stream is live. So before we move on to the video stuff, I'm just going to state the obvious, but you want the audio to be high quality. That means making sure your gear is good and ready to go. One of the things that I've had from experience, both live streaming and just performing live in general, is like malfunctioning leads, malfunctioning equipment. It's super obvious when you're playing live into in front of an audience if something's going wrong, like if there's feedback or if there's a crackle in the system or whatever, because you will see their responses. If there's something that's not right, your audience can give you a bit of feedback and you can kind of correct that really quickly. Live streaming is a little bit different like that. And that's why one of the most important things you need are headphones for monitoring. So as I said before, you can monitor out of these audio interfaces and you can hear everything that's kind of going on. Additionally, a quiet room, maybe something that's like, it soaks up a little bit of a sound's really good. Yeah, you can do it outside if it's quiet or whatever, but you're going to pick up a lot of background noise. So somewhere isolated is really important as well. You certainly can perform in a bathroom if that's your thing. Just somewhere where you're avoiding any extra additional noise. And yeah, I mean, that sort of covers the gear basically. And I'm just going to give you guys a bit of an example of monitoring. So at the moment, can you guys hear my keyboard? Okay, so often you can plug and play, and if you're not monitoring with headphones, stuff like this can happen where it gets a little bit, that's actually sounding still pretty okay. I'm turning that up heaps. I was expecting that to be heaps worse. But you can get to a point where something's overpowering. Now, if I'm playing that, you can't hear my vocal or whatever. So monitoring is really important. And on these, you just basically tweak the level. So your guitar, your vocal, and whatever your other instrument is. Yeah, and it's got here, you can maybe see, there we go, this peak light that will actually flash if too much audio volume's coming in. Okay, so now we're going to move a little bit away from the audio side of things. So remember, we need, what did I say? We need an interface, an instrument, cables, camera, and headphones. That's the audio side of things. And we're going to move on to video. And video is really important because that's the visual thing that's going to capture people's attention. Now, I'm in a pretty boring place right now. It's my mate's kitchen because he's got good internet. So it's not super exciting, but when Billie-Jo does her live stream, she's got like mad, I don't even know what they are, but beautiful background that looked quite interesting. You're not just in the kitchen. So a background's a really good thing. But yeah, essentially you need good internet, good lighting. And one of the things that can help live streaming is using live streaming programs. So the one that I tend to use is OBS. And I'm just going to share my screen with you guys now and just kind of take you through some of the stuff that you can do through OBS. It's a free app. You can get it on your phone. And if you have a computer, laptop, or whatever, you can also get it on your laptop. You link the two up, and basically they work in tandem. And I'll just share my screen and get you guys into OBS. Here we go. So can you all see that okay? Cool. There should be two of me, two, you don't need two of me, but there is. All right, so I'm just going to take you through some of the things you can do to make your live stream look a bit more interesting. I'm in a kitchen. You can see behind me there's you know, a kettle and probably some of my leftover lunch. I don't know. So what I'm going to do to just try and distract you from the boringness of my background is add a couple of things. And it's really easy. You basically open up this little plus sign down the bottom, and then you can put an image in. And I've got two already sort of ready to go. Arts, MNC, okay. And we're going to browse. And we're going to jump on here and open this up. Oop, live streaming workshop with Joshua Matheson, cancel. Okay, and then you can bring it down here. You can resize it to about that, and maybe a little bit smaller. And then if you want to put your own personalized logo on it, if you have a logo, or if you've got an album that you're promoting, or maybe a gig poster or something, essentially it's the same thing. You just add an image, have it in the background. You can make it semi-transparent. Okay, pick and browse this one. That's a bit big. Oh, cancel. Okay. Resize it. Resize it again. Now, I'm not going to take too many pains in getting this exactly right. You can do that yourself. You transition, and then all of a sudden, when you go live, this is what's underneath. Maybe it looks not like it looks a bit more like a news broadcast than a gig, but that's okay. It's just to give you an idea of some of the things that you can do. Yeah, and so all right. So next step, let me just jump back into my notes. So this is OBS. If you want to go live, you can use Facebook or YouTube. And one thing that we'll talk about in a little while is that I think Instagram don't require what's called a stream key. So a stream key is basically something that makes your link, sorry, your live post sort of private, and that you can control it, but it's a little bit cumbersome. So I'm just going to really show you quickly here how to do that. But if you're in OBS Studio, you basically just open up the settings, you go to stream, and you'll see here you've got these options of services. So you can go Twitch, YouTube, Restream, Twitter, Facebook. If you're going Facebook Live, it's going to ask you for this stream key. But what you can do to kind of bypass that is you can go get stream key, and then it should link you to your Facebook. So once everything's linked up and you're kind of logged into OBS with your Facebook details, which is a bit cumbersome, I won't go through all of that right now because it's not super important. But once you have done that, you can go live, you can set up your live video, and then start creating content for your live stream. Now, one of the things that you don't want to do is go live without going private first. And a good way of doing that is you can set up live video. But here, I'm just going to share this other screen with you. I've lost you guys. Here we go. New share. So you should be able to see, this is my live page now where it says go live. You guys can see all that, just making sure. All right. It says, yeah, go live by yourself with others. And just down here, it says create a test broadcast before going live. The importance of that is that you can actually record yourself. You can go through your audio interface. You can play a song. You can stream it live, but you stream it privately. And the benefit of that is that you can go back and check that there are no audio issues. Sometimes there can be audio issues, and you can't hear them monitoring. It's very rare, but it does happen. Or it's like an uploading thing. And we talked about good internet. I think probably what you want to do is have at least 3 megabits per second upload. But yeah, you can go back in, you can check. And then once you're satisfied that the lighting's good, the audio quality is good, your playing's good, because you've got to be playing well. Once you've decided all that is okay, that's when you're ready to go live, and you can. You don't need to do any of the technical stuff with OBS, because you can just go straight from your app, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, going live just from your phone. This is a bit more if you want to make it look a little bit more professional, or if you're trying to sell something, or however you want to do it. So right before we jump into Billie-Jo's performance, I just want to recap what we've sort of gone over. Essentially, going live and live streaming, you only require a mobile phone and your instrument or your voice. Like, that's all you require. You can do that in a quiet place, wherever, without having any of this equipment. But if you do want to take it to the next level, you need an audio interface, you need your instrument and your cables, you need the iPhone or a smartphone with a camera, you need headphones for monitoring, you need good internet, around 3 megabits per second uploading, good lighting if you can. You can see, even for me, there's a few shadows here because of where I am, and I don't have great lighting in this room. So that's something that I tried to fix, but I couldn't find any more lamps. So anyway, we got through. Good lighting, good internet, and then basically just perform and kind of just do your thing, and that's the best way to do it. Hope you guys have learned something. It's pretty straightforward, a lot of this stuff, but it is good having someone sort of run you through what their setup is, because it gives you ideas. You might already know about live streaming or performing or whatever, but when you're hearing someone else talk about it, you can certainly get ideas and take your own live streaming in different directions. If you have any questions while we're listening to Billie-Jo, she's going to perform some songs for us. Chuck them in the chat. I'll have a look at them, get some answers for you. I'm going to do a Q&A. Liv, I'll put it back to you if you want to introduce Billie-Jo.
Sure. Thanks, Josh. And yes, please do. We'll see that there are some questions in the chat already, but yeah, please keep them coming through if you've got any questions. We're now going to have a little bit of a musical break, and introducing Coffs Harbour-based musician Billie-Jo Porter, who will be live streaming her performance for us today. Thanks, Billy.
Thank you. How's everyone going out there? Can you hear me? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, look, my name is Billie-Jo Porter. As we just went through, I have been live streaming on my Facebook page ever since the beginning of COVID. And honestly, I was so scared when I first started. And it's been a huge journey, but it's been really great to be able to share music and keep playing live while there was nothing going on in the live music scene. And yeah, I feel like it's definitely helped boost my confidence, and also help develop a bit of an audience in spots that I haven't had before. So yeah, make sure you put in any questions in the chat as we go along. I've just got some new devices, so hopefully it's all going to work. I'm just going to turn it on here. Can you hear my guitar? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right, so here's a little song called Play It Cool. Sitting here by the telephone, check again just to make sure it's turned on. I can't stand to miss that call. Well, you're telling me that you're wanting more. Every sound, my heart skips a beat. Lump in my throat got me feeling giddy. Butterflies, I'm flying high, hoping that I'll see it tonight. And ooh, I'll play it cool. Yeah, I've been so busy doing what I do, just been waiting here for you. I got better things to do, oh, better things to do. While you're there, you may as well put in the chat where you're watching from. What town are you living in? Or suburb? I'm like a sign still delivered, walking on the moon, but I won't show my cards too soon. Playing this game till the time is right. You think I like you, well, I just might. And ooh, I'll play it cool. Yeah, I've been so busy doing what I do. And oh, I'll play it cool. No, I haven't just been waiting here for you. I got better things to do, oh, better things to do. Thoughts spin around in the back of my head, reading right into every word that you said. Could it mean this and could it mean that? Is it really true? Is it a matter of fact? But ooh, I'll play it cool. Yeah, I've been so busy doing what I do. And oh, I'll play it cool. No, I haven't just been waiting here for you. I got better things to do, oh, better things to do. Oh, I'm reading the chat here. I need to know, has anyone chimed in where they're watching from? What do we got? Newey Creek. Am I saying that right? Awesome. Fernmount and Bellow, McMaster's Beach. I have no idea where that is. Copacabana, Central Coast. Yes. Gosford. Oh, awesome. That's where I went down and recorded my album, Billy. That's cool. And Olivia, I'm here at Rob's Music Station in Maxville. Wow, we're really getting around, aren't we? George is in Scott's Head, Gumbaynggirr country. We've got some claps. Sounds great. Awesome. Thank you. Wow, that's cool. It's amazing. Like on here, I had no idea that we'd be streaming as far as Gosford or Maxville. It's awesome. Good to see you all here. How exciting that we're joining up like this. So next week I'm headed to Tamworth for the Country Music Festival. And I'm in a thing called Star Maker. And I wrote this song when I was back in Tamworth a few years ago, and it was hot. It was the Country Music Festival, and we were trying to rev up to get out there and do some more performing, but before then we had to have a little coffee and enjoy the moment on the porch, and this is a song that came out of that. Sitting on the porch on the edge of town, breeze rustles through the trees of this dry dirt ground. Nothing here to do but sit around and listen to the old man's working sounds. We're picking out a tune, the pretty birds fly, shaded from the sun in this big blue sky. She'll be getting gone, but we'll sit right here. Can't blame the heat, yeah, we can't blame the beer. We can worry about the mistletoe killing the trees, worry about the heat when we lose the breeze, or worry about our plans when the money runs out, or be right here and let it all roll out, all roll out, all roll out. Whatever it takes, we can work it out. Tamworth's waiting for us over that rise. Music for a soul really satisfies. See the old folks walking down the street, pocket full of change to a busker's feet. You're lucky if you slept, you're lucky if you're clean. One couple said it felt like New Orleans. We should be getting gone, but we're sitting right here. Can't blame the heat, yeah, we can't blame the beer. We could worry about the mistletoe killing the trees, worry about the heat when we lose the breeze, or worry about our plans when the money runs out, or be right here and let it all roll out, all roll out, all roll out. Whatever it takes, we can work it out. The mistletoe killing the trees, worry about the heat when we lose the breeze, worry about our plans when the money runs out, or be right here and let it all roll out, all roll out, all roll out. Whatever it takes, we can work it out. Sitting on the porch on the edge of town, breeze rustles through the trees of this dry dirt ground. Nothing here to do but sit around, listen to the old man's working sounds. Yeah. Thank you. This is a very big treat, seeing some people actually bopping along and clapping, because usually on a live stream, you're just looking at yourself and that's it. So this is very good. Thank you. Do we have time for one more? Yeah? All right, cool. So this is one of the things with the live stream. You've got to be prepared. What are you going to play next? Me? I'm never prepared. I'm always like, what am I going to play? And then I decide something and change it halfway through. But that's the beauty of it. Like, it's kind of a informal, formal thing. And you can change your mind on the fly, and you don't have to like get too stressed out and serious about it, which I love, because you get to just run your own situation. Anyway, this one's called Feels Like Us. And if you have ever watched my live stream, from time to time a guy will come in and just crash it, and he'll do something weird, and I'm always like, oh, but it's so funny. His name's Kyle, and him and I did a music video to this song. We learned a full-on dance routine, and we went down to Sydney, emptied out a big hall, and we did the dance routine so many times. I was going to say 100 times, but I don't know how many times, but we were sweating and like panting because it was hard work, but we got a really awesome video clip out of it. We were in some velvet flares, and it was this whole situation, and you'll see Kyle if you check that out. But anyway, it's all about just being yourself in love. It started like fireworks in the early days. Every moment was a loved up haze, and a smile when I think back now. Some things don't change. Oh, the years roll on in the blink of an eye. On the road less traveled, we're made alive. And I smile when I think back now, 'cause you're still mine. Live every moment, love every day. Life changes, some things remain. It's not a production, you don't have to make a fuss. Love's what you make it, and it feels like us. Well, now it's a slow burn through thick and thin. Whatever life throws us, gonna dive right in. And I smile when I think back now, you still make me spin. Live every moment, love every day. Life changes, some things remain. It's not a production, you don't have to make a fuss. Love's what you make it, and it feels like us. This is where you picture some wild flares just whizzing around the dance floor. Or you could just imagine some electric guitar in here. Live every moment, love every day. Life changes, some things remain. It's not a production, you don't have to make a fuss. Love's what you make it, and it feels like us. Love's what you make it, and it feels like us. Thank you. Oh, let me just read out what's going on in the chat here. What do we got? We got, where are we? Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Ali. Josh is whistling and clapping. Olivia says encore. Come on, Kyle. Somebody text him and let him know to come up here. I told him, I said earlier, I'm like, right, you stay down there and use your inside voice. I said, don't come and interrupt me. This is a big deal. Thank you so much for having me on and for cheering me on. Thanks for the claps, David, Georgia, Sharon. So good. So good to connect with you guys. I know we'll have the questions and answers, but I was going to mention that if anyone's got any questions after this, feel free to just get in touch on my Facebook or Instagram page if you've need a bit of guidance or want to ask something about something. Yeah, I'm always up for a chat. So, all right.
Thank you so much, Billie-Jo. Sorry, talked over you there. And Billie-Jo Porter has been brought to you all today by Music New South Wales. So thank you, Ali, and Music New South Wales for supporting Billie-Jo's performance. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. So we're now going to go into our Q&A. So there have been a couple of questions that have been put into the chat. So we might try and answer those first. And I think there were one of them was to you, Josh, about, just have to go up to where it was. So a question from Georgia Cortez Rayner. About the software that you are using and whether they are work both on iPhones and Android. You'll have to unmute, Josh.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is what not to do on live streams. Have yourself on mute. That was a test for all of you guys. So yes, the question was, do the interfaces and software use and work that I use work on iPhones and Android? Yes, roll and go mixers. This one specifically has an iPhone connection, but then there's this USB, one of the USBs one, I don't even know, the small one, the cute one. These USB connections go in. So, and there would be an Android equivalent, the lead that connects. Liv is going to chuck some links in there, and I've included the roll and go in one of the links. So if you want to get on, you can check the specs, and then it's just about finding the right link. So if you have an Android phone or if you have an iPhone, they're going to be a little bit different. But yes, essentially these are created to work with smartphones because they're like quite small plastic. If I could show you my interface, it's quite big and heavy. So that's not designed for live streaming. These are. The second question with the software, same sort of thing. Yeah, so you can have them on your computer, OBS, and whatever other streaming software that you're using. I know we're going to talk about it in a minute, but Billie-Jo uses a different streaming software app to what I do. But yes, they all work on iPhones and Androids, and they're designed specifically for that.
Oh, thanks, Josh. Another question from Sharon Aldrich about whether sending it to all your platforms. Can that, I guess, about sending it all to different platforms all at once you've got everything set up?
Yeah, so OBS, as I showed you before, had those 5 or 6 different options. It was like Twitter, Facebook. One of the options that they have is Restream. And so OBS itself doesn't allow you to do it, but if you have a Restream account, and I've just sent that link to Liv as well, she'll include that as well. If you have a Restream, you can stream to multiple sites. It's called multi-streaming. The only thing is that the basic account, I think, is free, but you can only stream to 2 social media platforms with the basic account. If you wanted to do like everything, then you have like a paid subscription kind of model. And yes, you just select Restream in that drop down box that I showed you on OBS, and you know, Bob's your uncle. Go for it.
If there's any more questions, please just keep entering them in the chat. So I might just ask a couple of questions, maybe over to you, Billie-Jo. How long have you been live streaming for? And I love your backdrop, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I got it on the internet. It's just a bit of material covering up a very boring wall with old blue tack stains under there somewhere. But yeah, they're quite cheap. Just Society 6 I got it from. This is my second round of wall art. I'm probably due for a new one, but yeah, it's just fun, something to kind of take away from like whatever's going on in the background. Sometimes I take the live stream on the road, like if I'm going away on holidays or if I have to cook dinner, I'll just take it downstairs into the kitchen or, yeah, random spots. And I think that's good to change it up for the viewers as well, because I'm doing it every week. It could get a bit samey if you're not changing it up. But yeah, to answer your actual question, whenever we all got put into lockdown a couple years ago, that's when I started. And actually, I was inspired by you, Josh, because I saw that you were doing that on Element, and they were really thrilled to be sharing that for you. And then I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. I need to keep like my practice skills up. I'm gonna try live streaming, and I watched yours, and I'm like, oh. So good. So yeah, so I just started then, and I've been doing it every Thursday night ever since, and I've built up a real community. I feel like I'm getting to know, in a weird way, getting to know people who are watching because they're commenting in and returning every week, and coming to my live shows, and, you know, but reaching people all around Australia, which is cool, and overseas as well. One of the good things with Kyle, the weirdo, who is my partner and likes wearing velvet flares, he gets on there and makes sure, like, listens in to make sure it's all working, but also shares it out to a lot of different groups. And that's been very helpful as well, in terms of sharing it around.
And Josh mentioned that you use some different equipment and programs when you do your live stream. Can you share with us a bit of what you use?
Yeah, look, I went on a bit of a journey. At the start, I just started with Facebook live streams, just going live directly from the app and shooting it out. I got one of these things similar to Josh, which is the Go Mixer Pro. Straightforward, easy, just plug it into the lightning cable on the phone, and you can use it on other devices. And yeah, it's just got a few knobs. I like things simple because otherwise I get overwhelmed. Just plug my mic in there and like my guitar in there, and then you can mix it, and that just goes straight to Facebook. I wanted to multi-stream, so I thought, let's get it out there to everyone. And I started using Streamlabs, which is another program similar to OBS. And I managed somehow, with a lot of technical difficulties, to figure out how to stream to Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook all at once. And so it was just going out there to everyone. And that was cool. It was great to be able to meet all those platforms. And I did enjoy it. However, I did go a bit like goggle-eyed because I really like to read the comments and, like, you know, can talk to people as they're coming through. And I found that most of my fan base that were tuning in from Facebook. So when people were logging in from like YouTube or Twitch, although I could get their messages, I was talking to people that they couldn't necessarily see in the comments. And I found that a bit weird. And yeah, so I ended up just taking a step back from doing the Streamlabs because I couldn't figure out my camera as well, but I know how to get that working now. And I just went back to Facebook, but I might try a few different ones as well. I think Facebook's kind of seems to be where a lot of my fan base is, but it's kind of seems like it's fading out. I don't know if anyone else is feeling like that. So yeah, I think I'll probably try maybe do a few more Instagram ones or something. But the thing is, yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky, isn't it? They all want you to stream directly from their apps. Like Facebook wants you to stream from them. Instagram, there's not that I've seen that you can stream to like Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So it's kind of like, yeah, they want you to put your energy in the one app, it seems. And I felt like when I was multi-streaming that my my reach wasn't as far when I wasn't streaming directly from the Facebook app, I suppose, with the algorithms at the time. But you probably noticed, Josh, when you first started, like in COVID, it was like crazy. There was like so many people tuning in because everyone was getting those live stream notifications.
Yeah, totally.
I digressed. I also am using a Alan and Heath desk and TC Helicon voice live thing. But yeah, tell us a bit more about your experience with it, Josh.
Yeah, well, I was just having a quick look for the links. I just saw that Sharon's looking for the links to the live streams. I haven't done one for quite a while, so I was just going back to find one. Yeah, it's one of those things, I think, that with multi-streaming in particular, I think you just need to build an audience on one platform, choose your main platform and kind of cater to that. Like you said, like with the multi-streaming, the algorithms, they don't like, you know, any competition. And so, you know, Restream and whatever other programs such as Vimeo or whatever, they offer that, and it's great because you technically have more reach, but the algorithms tend not to sort of prioritize it, I think. Yeah, my experience, well, it was just interesting as I was going to look for that link. I committed the cardinal live streaming sin of actually publishing when I was just sitting there looking through OBS today, I did a trial one and I thought I'd put it on private, but I just saw that you liked it, Liv, and it was just me, it's just me sitting looking at the screen working out what the hell I was doing. 2.5 minutes. I don't know how much you sat through, but you poor thing.
I saw it come up and I thought, it was just kind of a fleeting thing on the feed.
Good. I hope you didn't watch any of it. I don't know what it was. Anyway, I just promptly deleted that. So, but thank you, Sharon, for sending me back to find that, because I wouldn't have seen that I went live accidentally today while I was getting ready for this.
Actually, sorry, Billie-Jo, that was actually was one of the questions I was going to ask you too, whether you had any epic fails while you've been live streaming.
Just like for me, other than today, the worst thing for me was really a patchy internet. And I think the problem around that initial sort of COVID outbreak, lockdown, all that kind of stuff is we have not particularly great internet in Bellingen anyway. And then the bandwidth went nuts because everyone's like, right, I can't do anything, so I'm going to stream Netflix, I'm going to stream Facebook, I'm going to stream live, I'm going to upload, download, do all the loads. And so there was one in particular where I had a friend come over and help me out, and we were doing a multi-camera thing, and my internet just couldn't handle it. And basically it was patchy. You could hear the audio, but it's like, you know, that pixelated kind of like, so the audio was coming through okay, but the video visuals were terrible. And I got about like 10 minutes, 12 minutes into it maybe, and I just went, hey guys, I'm so sorry, but the internet is so bad. I'm going to come back and do this another day at another time. That was definitely the worst one for me.
Yeah, it's no good when something goes wrong, is it? You're just like, oh, the shame of it. But at the same time, you know, we're all human and it's live and people expect like weird things to happen. Like there's a running joke with my live stream that there's, especially when I was switching over to that Streamlabs situation, I was like going out. You know, there was technical difficulties coming out the yin yang. My camera fell over once and like I've watched it back and you could just see it go boom. And then I like pulled it back in, I'm plugging stuff back in, and everyone was laughing in the comments and putting in funny emojis and just bringing it up like week after week for the next few years. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's the thing. If you take yourself too seriously and you like stress too hard about like making everything perfect, you'll stop yourself from actually doing it. And I think you'll miss out in a lot of like fun and exciting times, and you can't evolve if you're not giving it a go. So just keep that in mind, everyone. Just go with it. If you stuff up, it's all right. Everybody does. And I think once I realized that, that's when I felt free to just have a lot more fun with it.
I might just ask one more question as we are kind of getting towards the end. It's quite different when you're live streaming because you don't really have, you don't have faces in the same room. So how do you to engage your audience through your live stream?
I'll let you go with this one, Billie-Jo, because you've obviously got the people coming back who continually engage with your live stream. I love it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, how do you engage them? Well, I've got a whole list of things that I've thought of because I'm like, oh, how can I keep this interesting? I just do what I like. So I'll do a quote of the week. I'll read out a great quote every week. If I haven't gotten my quote together, I'll ask someone to share one in the comments, and people will be sending in quotes and I'll just read them all out. I always try and ask a question to get people typing in. A good one is like, put in an emoji that, you know, shows us how you're feeling today or something like that. Or Kyle will come in with what's in that box and just fill a box up with random stuff and pull it out, and who knows. But yeah, I feel like when I watch live streams, I want to get acknowledged. And so when I put in a comment, I love it when the person sees it and reads it out and says my name and engages with me. And I think it's really just an extension of a face-to-face situation, but it's more like face to text. And so, yeah, I guess that's the number one thing. Ask questions to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and acknowledge them. And also, like, be grateful as well is a big thing as well. Thanking people for turning up, and
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of keeps everyone coming back, I think.
And just on that too, I think, you know, some of the points Billie-Jo made were excellent in terms of mistakes and the technology. Like, particularly at the start of COVID, we're all just kind of fumbling our way through what the music industry kind of was or wasn't, all of it. And so, you know, mistakes were a dime a dozen, and you just got to own it and move on. And I think that whole thing with engaging too, you got to remember too that, like, you're performing, so you're a performer and you're giving a performance, but you're not, like, you're performing for an audience, and there's an interaction taking place, there's an exchange taking place. And just to remember that, like, it's not necessarily about getting the performance perfect. It's about making someone feel engage, making someone feel something through your music, making someone feel like they're connecting with you. And I love, Billie-Jo, like all the stuff that you do, like even what you said before, when you were just before you started playing, like mixing it up, going outside, going downstairs, like changing the scenery, doing all that kind of stuff to keep it interesting is always a good thing to do.
100%. Yeah, and consistency as well. Having a regular day and a regular time where people know when they can catch you. I felt like that helped with people coming back, because they just know Thursday night, 7 p.m-ish, probably be late. I'll be tuning in. So if they've got nothing better to do, get on there.
So have either of you had any gigs that have come out directly from your live stream?
My live streams, basically what I did at the start of COVID was asked heaps of people for money. No, I went around to all the venues that were sort of had been putting me on live in person. I just said, look, this is crazy. We can't work. Like, is there a way that that, you know, you could sponsor? And so what I did is I had Element Bar, and just a shout out to Darren from Element Bar and Dark Arts Bar in Coffs Harbour, who's always putting live music on and that. I just said to him, look, if I just do a sponsored live stream, it's going to have your logo and your website, and basically just plug you. There was this like mutual beneficial transaction that was happening. And then I got a couple of gigs out through with Jono and Jeanette down at Scott's Hub, which was really good. I did a couple of live streams with them. And like for me, I've I don't think I've had as many live streams as Billie-Jo. I tend to do more just uploading videos. Certainly my experience from that is like lots of gigs coming in. So I think one of the things, whether you are going live or uploading videos of you playing, both are important, because they're content drives more content, and people are going to engage. And every time you go live, or you upload a video, or you take your guitar down to the corner store and busk, you're putting yourself in the shop window. So, you know, even if it's like 10 o'clock at night and you're like, I'm just going to challenge myself, I'm going to get on there and do 3 live songs or whatever, you never know who's watching. And maybe you get someone who's like, hey, I'm having a birthday party this weekend, or I know someone. Like it's amazing how many times I've been approached by people when I wouldn't have expected anything to happen, just because I've either played a gig that, you know, I wasn't going to get much money from, or it was free or whatever. And they're like, hey, do you want to come and play at our wedding or our whatever? So there's always opportunities. And I think that's something really important to remember, just putting yourself out there. But Billie-Jo, I'm assuming like you've been doing it for, almost 2 years, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're in April, pretty much 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. I should have written the date down when I started and just had a party every year. But it's just like what you're saying there is you just, every time you perform or you're doing something on social media, you're just sowing little seeds and little things that people can go check out or be involved in. And I think from that, things just naturally expand. Well, this has come out of the live streams that I've done. So thank you to Olivia and Alison, Arts Mid North Coast and Music New South Wales. This is a cool thing that's come out of all of those live streams for us. I've had lots of gigs, been approached by different venues to come play, people recognizing me or bringing something up weird that happens in the live stream, and I'm like, oh, I forget people are watching. So yeah, you just don't know what's going to come out of anything. And like Josh said, you never know who's watching. And also when you're playing, you're in the moment and you're practicing your craft. And I think that's a really cool thing to be able to share if people want to watch it.
Oh, just one last question from Sharon about whether they listen to your live streams after it happens.
Do you know about Instagram Live? I think might be different, Billie-Jo. Is it?
I haven't actually streamed to Instagram Live, to be honest.
Oh.
I need to give it
a crack. Are you using Facebook?
Still using Facebook, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have the option when you go live at the end of the video, when you finish, there's an option to say keep or get rid of, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%.
So if it was bad performance, you can go, no, I'm not keeping this one.
Yeah, you can even chop it off like partway through if you've swore or you did something. Not that I do that. But yeah, you can delete it, or you can keep it up for 30 days, or you can keep it up forever. I think most of them I've kept up forever. So yeah, if you game, you can watch it. And people do watch it after the fact, like around the world, people tune in and still get involved even if they haven't been able to catch it live. So yeah, it's a good resource content thing to do for sure.
YouTube is the same. You can do that and you keep it up there. I think with Instagram Live, so I don't know that there's an option to keep it. But if you're using Facebook or YouTube, 100% you can do that. And the links that I will send to Liv will be of live streams that I've just kept up there.
Yeah, cool. And you should definitely, if you're thinking about doing it, check out Twitch. Go in there and have a look, because there are options to become like a partner with Twitch and get subscribers and get money from it that way as well, which is something worth looking at. There's a real community. It's just a live streaming platform. That's it.
And that's a good, I guess, segue into something that we haven't touched on too, is how to monetize your live streams. And I know, Ali, we've been talking about following on with another workshop from this one about how we can monetize live streams.
Yeah, I think that'd be great if people are interested in it.
Yeah. So there'll definitely be a follow on, and we will be sending out those resources that our panelists have mentioned today, as well as contacts for both Music New South Wales and Arts Mid North Coast as well. I'd just like to thank all our panelists today. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Josh. And thank you, Billie-Jo, for being a part of our live stream 101 workshop. And I'd just like to give you a round of applause.
Thank you, Stevie.
Thank you. And thank you to all our attendees to our workshop today. We'll be signing off this workshop now, and just like to give you all a big wave out there. And thank you.
Thanks, Liv.
Thank
see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.